Avengers Age of Ultron isn't that great. Even though the movie was successful and got solid ratings, Age of Ultron doesn't leave the same lasting impression as other MCU hits like Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's break down 5 reasons why it didn't quite hit the mark. One of the most noticeable issues with Age of Ultron is its pacing. The movie tries to tackle far too much within its runtime, resulting in a narrative that feels rushed and, at times, disjointed. Ultron's creation, the introduction of Wanda and Pietro Maximoff, the Avengers' internal struggles, and the setup for future MCU films like Civil War and Thor Ragnarok are all crammed into the story. Because of this, moments that should have been pivotal feel underdeveloped. Ultron's rise from a broken AI experiment to a global threat happens in mere minutes, leaving audiences little time to understand his motivations. Similarly, character moments that could have added depth, like Bruce Banner and Natasha Romanoff's budding romance, feel rushed or misplaced. Certain sequences drag unnecessarily, further disrupting the flow. For example, the detour to Clint Barton's farm slows the momentum, and Thor's subplot about seeking answers through a vision quest feels detached from the central conflict. This juggling act between action, exposition, and character development hinders the movie from maintaining a cohesive rhythm, leaving viewers either overwhelmed or bored. Ultron is a name that strikes fear in the hearts of Marvel Comics fans, but his portrayal in the film doesn't do justice to his reputation. In the comics, Ultron is a cold, calculating AI with a relentless drive to eradicate humanity, representing the darker side of technological advancement. However, the film's version of Ultron feels tonally inconsistent. While James Spader's voice acting brings charisma to the character, the constant stream of quips undermines his menace. Ultron cracks jokes that make him feel more like a cynical human than a terrifying AI. This detracts from his threat level and reduces the stakes of the story.
Nobody has to break anything.
Clearly, you've never made an omelet.
You beat me by 1 second.
Audiences are left with a villain who is entertaining, but lacks the gravitas to challenge Earth's mightiest heroes. Additionally, his grand plan to use a flying city as a meteor to destroy humanity feels overly complicated and absurd. Instead of presenting a philosophical or moral dilemma, Ultron's scheme becomes just another generic save-the-world scenario. For a character with so much potential, this portrayal felt like a missed opportunity to create a truly iconic villain. One of the movie's most glaring flaws is how much it sacrifices its own story to set up future MCU projects. While Marvel's interconnected universe is one of its greatest strengths, Age of Ultron leans too heavily on foreshadowing, often at the expense of its own narrative. Thor's subplot, for instance, is largely dedicated to teasing Thor, Ragnarok. His journey to uncover the Infinity Stones feels shoehorned in and pulls him away from the main action. Similarly, the tension between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, which hints at Civil War, feels out of place in a story that should focus on the team working together. These moments distract from the core conflict with Ultron and make the movie feel like a prologue, rather than a self-contained story. This over-reliance on setup not only disrupts the flow of the film, but also alienates casual viewers unfamiliar with the larger MCU. While hardcore fans may enjoy these teases, they detract from Age of Ultron's ability to stand on its own merits. Balancing an ensemble cast is no easy task, and Age of Ultron struggles under the weight of its expanding roster. In addition to the core Avengers, the film introduces new characters like Wanda, Pietro, and Vision. While these newcomers are compelling, their arcs feel rushed due to the limited runtime. Wanda's journey from a traumatized anti-hero to a powerful ally is somewhat explored, but Pietro's character is barely developed before he's abruptly killed off. This robs audiences of the chance to connect with him and makes his sacrifice feel less impactful. Vision, despite being a fascinating addition to the team, doesn't get enough screen time to establish his significance. Meanwhile, the original Avengers are sidelined to varying degrees. Thor and Hulk in particular feel underutilized, with their arcs taking a backseat to the larger plot. While Hawkeye does benefit from more personal moments, the sheer number of characters ultimately dilutes the narrative focus, preventing anyone from truly standing out. Marvel movies are known for their blend of humor and drama, but Age of Ultron struggles to strike the right balance. The film explores serious themes, such as the dangers of artificial intelligence, the fragility of humanity, and the Avengers' inner struggles. However, these moments are often undermined by humor that feels forced or out of place. For example, Ultron's sarcastic quips clash with his supposed role as a terrifying AI. This tonal inconsistency makes it harder for audiences to take him seriously as a villain. This imbalance between humor and heavy themes prevents the movie from delivering the emotional weight it aspires to. While individual scenes work in isolation, the overall tone feels uneven, leaving audiences unsure of how to engage with the story. Age of Ultron isn't without its strengths. It boasts impressive action sequences, stunning visuals, and a talented cast. However, its pacing issues, inconsistent tone, and reliance on setting up future films prevent it from achieving the same level of greatness as other entries in the MCU. While it remains an entertaining installment in the franchise, it ultimately falls short of being a truly standout Marvel film.